Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Facebook Live. I am Kelly Kirk, and I am a peer support specialist in Richmond County, North Carolina. So, welcome. And if you watch this later and you want to contact me, you can just instant message me. And if you want to say anything during the video, you can just put your comment right there in the comment section. So, let me just read our introduction really quickly. Welcome to the Facebook Live online recovery support group supported by the Sandhills Opioid Response Consortium. This is a forum where people in recovery can come together. We are here to encourage and support individuals in their own recovery journeys by sharing our own experience, strength, and hope. Our meetings consist of daily readings, meditations, devotionals, and open discussion. We only ask that when sharing, you adhere to the rules and guidelines of this page. All recovery paths are welcome. Please feel free to share your questions or comments throughout the meeting. So again, my name is Kelly Kirk, and I am in recovery going on 6 years. It'll be 6 years in October. And then I also work as a peer support specialist, which means that I work with families most of the time with families, meaning people with families that are struggling with addiction or mental health issues or both. So being someone with lived experience myself and someone that works closely with people that are going through it and living, using drugs and trying to make it, I can tell you that being in active addiction is a hard way to live. I mean, especially for families, it seems like you're living day to day in survival mode, always trying to fix things and tell stories and have to force things to work out in your life. You have to finagle and finesse people to get what you want. And as soon as you get one problem taken care of, the next problem is coming at you, and it's stressful. And I know that that's kind of the whole one thing coming at you thing kind of goes for everybody, whether you're using drugs or not. But it's almost like this dark cloud is on you, and it's a constant battle and struggle to make things work because, you're always on the verge of losing it all, and you're trying to keep up with being a mom or being a dad and having these kids and using this whole separate secretive thing that you're keeping from the kids and keeping from other people or trying to. And it always felt to me like I was one step away from just losing everything and losing it totally. Things start to slide off the deep end, and you kind of lose sight of what a good life looks like, and you just tell yourself that, hey, I'm doing the best I can. But in the meantime, you're settling. You're doing things you normally wouldn't do. And I think the most crucial thing is, or the most impactful thing, living a life, the dope life, is that you're making bad decisions, and you have to live with those decisions, and you end up compromising your morals, all those things that your parents brought you up on, be honest, be an upstanding citizen, help others, tell the truth, do right, and you can't really have goals and dreams like normal people because your focus is always on covering your butt and being underhanded to get what you need. It's like a constant hustle, you're always on your guard and trying to keep up. And I see people losing their kids, and I see people that their whole families have turned their back on them. And it's a gradual thing, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's slow and it's sneaky, and you're using, and it's all fun and games in the beginning, but then once it creeps into your life, it's on you. It's like a monkey on your back, and you're justifying, and you're minimizing, and you're blaming other people, and It's always because such and such happened. It's not because I'm using. It's because so and so said something. And, it's always like this whole mind thing that's going on. And like I said, I see people on the verge of losing their kids and losing it all and being homeless. And they don't want that. It's just something that comes with the disease of addiction, I think. And, people are disappointed in you and you're disappointed in you too. And you can't really have anything nice because all your money has to go to support your habit, and you're a good mom, but you're blowing off your kids because you don't feel good. And not now, mommy's got to go run an errand, mommy's got to, go to the doctor, or mommy's got to, go meet a friend, and when you're out of drugs, you feel like you want to die. You can't be a good mom. You can't clean the house, and you'll do anything to get them. And you hate that you will do anything to get them, but you'll steal, you'll lie, you'll cheat people. And that just compounds these bad feelings you have about yourself. And I always felt like, to me, that it kind of put a dark cloud over my spirit, and it just kind of held me down, and when your mind is geared towards the drugs, you're always plotting and planning on how you can get over on people to get what you want. And it's always this scheming, dark, lonely pit of your stomach, survival mode type existence, and you're scared. And a lot of the time you don't look good. You dress yourself up, but you may be too skinny, or you might have sores all over your face, and deep down, you're not living your best life, but you just tell yourself, oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'm good, And I think, like I was saying, addicts or people like me, how I used to be, tend to blame other things for my problems. Because if I have to admit that it's me that's the problem, then that means I have to admit a whole host of things that I'm not willing to admit, and people don't trust you. That hurts. Your family's fed up with you and you're trying to explain, and they don't want to hear it. And you want things to be different, and you try to imagine your life in this, what it should be like, and it just seems so distant and impossible. So it's like, that's all dark and lonely and scary and devastating. But like for me, and what I believe is, it really only takes two things to get out of all that. And that is, it takes a desire to stop, a desire to change, like deciding you've had enough, and then a little bit of courage to step out and take the first step. And if you have those two things, if you've had enough, and you don't want to live like that anymore, and you have a little bit of courage, you can turn it all around. I know plenty of people that have done it. I know people that will never do it, or I don't think they'll ever do it because they don't want to admit they have a problem. And I know people can do it because I've done it, and not that I'm great or anything. I was blessed, and I had just got to a point. I mean, I lived like that for years and years. So I finally decided I had enough. I got into recovery, and then I fell back into it again. And I saw things starting to unravel again. And I was like, no, I cannot let this happen again. I have to get back on the right track. And I did. And I think the number one thing people have to do when they want to change their life is to get help. It's like, you cannot, hey, Michelle, thank you. Yes, you are responsible for my hair, and I appreciate you and I love you. Um, but anyway, you have to want to change, and you have to get help, because you really can't do it on your own. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who just quit cold turkey, but they're very rare. It's like, you really have to get help, because addiction is just part of your life, and you have to extract it out of your life. And so you need help, you need support, you need good people around you, and you need a plan, you know? So whether that plan includes rehab, where you go away for 28 days or you go away for 6 months, there's all kind of programs. You can just go to detox, where you're there for about a week or 14 days, and it gives you a chance to get the drugs out of your system. Or you can go to rehab, where usually that's 28 days, and you go there and you detox the first couple of days, and they have you in a separate area while you're detoxing. And then once you've detoxed, you go into the program where you go to groups during the day and you do things as a team and as a group, and you talk a lot, and you go to you go to group and you like talk about why you started getting into addiction in the first place, like what are the underlying issues, and you try to like get to the root of the problem. And there's a lot of sharing, and it's scary at first, but you end up bonding with the other people at rehab, and it can be a really good experience. I highly recommend it. um, some people can get clean through a 12-step program. I've been to many, many 12-step meetings, AA, NA. They're good. Every meeting's different. You want to find a meeting that you fit in with. And there's lots of them online. They're really easy to find. But there's also MAT, medicated assisted treatment, where there's a couple different drugs. But you can get on this medication. It's a safe medication that will get you off of the narcotics or the meth or whatever you're on. Actually, the medicated assisted treatment is only for opioids, excuse me. So, but that is an option. And what that is it's a safe medication that will let you stop obsessing, stop drug seeking, stop the cravings, and just let you feel normal and consistently normal. And that way, you can take that time while you're on that medication for a period of time. Everybody's different. But while you're on that medication, you can kind of get your stuff together. You can get your life together and set some goals, kind of work some things out. And then when you're ready, you can get off of that medication. But there's a lot of different ways to recover. There's no right way or wrong way to recover. The definition of recovery is to basically live a positive, happy life where you are not misusing substances and are growing and changing and improving continually all the time. So, basically, once you start out in recovery, everything changes. And speaking from experience, life is so much less complicated when you're in recovery. The fact that you can just admit that you have a problem, that in and of itself takes a big load off of you. It's like, you know what? Yeah. Because you've spent so long denying it. No, I don't have a problem. No, I'm fine. It was just that one time, or I let it get out of control. I got it, and I can handle it. When you finally admit, yes, actually, I do have a problem. This stuff is taking over my life, and I need help. When you admit that, it's such a relief. It's like, yeah, I need help. I admit it, and that means you can stop faking it, that everything is fine, when everyone pretty much already knows you are not fine. So, but once you start feeling better in recovery, you can look people in the eye again. You can spend your time on the things that really matter. For me, I saw what addiction had done to me, and I knew I never wanted to go back there again. And I needed to be around people who supported me, not people who were still using. And I was able to get my priorities straight and slowly begin to make a life for myself. And it's amazing what can happen once you start doing the right thing in life. It's like things just come together when you're doing right. It's like when you're living wrong, everything is going to go wrong. Everybody is going to bust you. Things are going to fall apart. Your car's going to break down. It's just like whatever kind of life you're living, it seems to me that that's the result you're going to get out of it. So it's amazing. But most of all, for me, in my personal experience, I needed to get in touch with my higher power. And once I did that, I found much more peace in my life. And now I can think clearly, I can be honest, I can work on improving myself, and knowing that I'm never going to fully get there. You know, I'm never going to be the ultimate Kelly. I can only just keep working at it slowly and improving myself, setting goals, and getting things accomplished. And I can smile and I can be happy and I can have good, clean fun for once without all this, extra accessories having to be in me to, oh, wait, I can't go until I take this. And I got to make sure I've got, 5 of these for the day, and all that nonsense is off your back. You can actually just go, just you, and not have to worry about it. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about was some instructions for early recovery. Um, these are things that it's really important to do in early recovery. And they say the first 90 days is the most challenging. So it's important to do certain things, like create and keep a daily schedule. I'm not going to go into great detail on these, but just to touch on them, I think when you're starting your life over, it's like your eyes are open for the first time. And sometimes you don't know what to do with yourself. It's like, oh my God, all this other activity has been cut out of my life and I have all this free time. What do I do? So if you make a schedule, then you can follow your schedule, until you get some time under your belt. The second thing is go to meetings or go to counseling or go to treatment, and keep going to them. I know in 12 steps, you're supposed to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. So, and that's a good way to establish yourself. And that way, after like a week or two, you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm going to the meeting, and then you can make friends there and you can find a sponsor and people that you can trust. Again, hang around with people that are good for you. Cut out all those other people. I know that you can get close with your dealer, you can get close with your using buddies, you care about them, but the best thing you need to do is take care of you, and maybe down the line you can help them at some point, but you got to cut those ties. It's for your own good. I mean, this is survival here. um, you want to, like I was saying, go to your meetings, go to counseling, go to a treatment center, maybe go to intensive outpatient. I've been to that before. It's like 8 weeks of every single day you go to this place, and it's kind of like school, and like for me, I sat at this big long conference table with the same people every day. And the teacher was like this psychologist, and we did different things, worksheets, and talked and shared and stuff every day. And I liked it so much at the end that I like requested 8 more weeks from my insurance. So I ended up going for a long time, and I was sad. I remember we got like a graduation thing when we were done, and I was sad to leave because that was my structure. But anyway, that's a good option. Like if you can't leave and go away to treatment somewhere, you need to be home every night. If you've got little kids or something that are in school, outpatient, intensive outpatient is a good option for that. Um, and I know for me, when I went to rehab and I see a lot of moms that are struggling with this, they're like, well, I don't want to leave my kids. My kids need me. And I remember when I went away and my daughter was a baby, and I cried the whole first night. I was hysterical. I needed my baby and she needed me. I had never been away from her. I felt like I needed to just go home and be with her. But the thing that got me through was the other girls kept telling me, like, you're doing this for her. You're staying here so you can be a better mom for her. And babies don't really have any concept of time. It's not till they're like 6, 7, 8 that they start wondering, like, wow, it's been like days since mom's been here. So if you got little babies, you're doing it for them. They're not even going to remember that you were gone. So yeah, there's basically a lot of options for treatment to get help. The next thing you need to do is create a safe environment for yourself. Make sure that you're staying somewhere that you don't have to worry about drugs being around you. You're going to be, and not everybody's got access to all these great options, but, do the best you can. Stay with your uncle, stay with your cousin who's doing well in life, just to kind of get on your feet. Or if you're staying where you are and you need to create a safe environment, maybe you need to ban some people from your house, or maybe you need to set some ground rules. The next one is ask for help from your loved ones. This is important. Um, when we're out there using and living the dope life and everything, our family a lot of times loses hope, or they don't think we're ever going to change. But I think once they start seeing us taking action, they're going to be supportive for the most part. There may be some that it takes a little longer to prove yourself, but if you can have the support of your loved ones, that makes a big difference. That's going to make it much easier knowing that there are people who love you, who also support you. The next one is make a list of goals. This one was big for me. You want to have an idea of what you want to do with the rest of your life. If you have goals, then you kind of know what you're working towards, and you can tailor your actions. Well, is this going to help my goal or not? No, it's not. Okay, I can't do it. Or what are the steps I need to take to reach my goal? Because I think sometimes goals can be overwhelming because they're so far from where you are now. But if you break them into baby steps, like, okay, number one, I need to call somebody. I need to call this person, find out more. The next step, I need to make an appointment. Whatever the steps are, and give yourself plenty of time, because you want to be realistic so you don't let yourself down. But I think goals are really important. Pay attention to your diet, sleep, and physical activity. And I think when you're in recovery, your body's still, and you're in early recovery, your body's still adjusting to the fact that now you're not putting drugs in it. You are not abusing it anymore. Some people have problems sleeping because they just kind of passed out at night and that's how they fell asleep. And now you're not doing that. So you may have problems like unwinding at night. Talk to your doctor. See if there's something safe that's not addictive that you might be able to take for a while. Um, Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because you want to flush all the toxins out of your body. I know in detox, they tell you to take as many hot showers as you can and drink gallons of water to just kind of flush your system. And you don't want to sit around too much, so watch your physical activity. Number 9 is learn your triggers and practice healthy coping skills. This is, I think, a step that's a preventative step. If you know what your triggers are something that's going to make you think of using drugs or give you a craving. Maybe, um, a certain sound makes you think about drugs, like something crackling may make you think about a crack pipe. Or it's weird how our mind associates things. Or maybe, it could be simpler. It could be just somebody coming around that you used to use with makes you crave the drugs. If you can learn what are the things that activate those thoughts in my head and let me avoid those things. And the other part of that is the practice healthy coping skills. Coping skills are learned behaviors that help you cope with what you're feeling. So maybe breathing exercises, or um, changing your thinking, changing your environment. There you can find them online. There's lots of coping skills, and everybody's gonna like be drawn to different ones, I'm sure. The 10th thing is don't rush back to work and limit your social engagements. You don't want to do anything drastic in early recovery. You want to just kind of be smooth and consistent until you get some time under your belt. So, like, don't hurry to rush back to a stressful job if you were coping with that job by doing Adderall or something. Go slow, make sure you're ready. And I think what they mean by limit social engagement is like, don't go out to the bar, don't put yourself in a compromising position with a bunch of people around where, you used to have a drink to feel comfortable, and now you're in that position and the bar's over there and you're supposed to be in recovery. Avoid major life changes. I think that kind of goes with the one before that. You just want to kind of like just keep on the straight and narrow. Don't do anything drastic that might set you back. The second to last one is celebrate major milestones. So I think that once you've hit like 30 days in recovery, celebrate that. That's a good thing. You've made it 30 days. And, if you run into a trigger or you run into somebody that you used to always would just go use with them after you saw them or something, and you don't do it, celebrate that. Be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. You've taken a big step. You've admitted you have a problem. You've sought help, and now you're making progress. You should celebrate that. And the last thing and the most important thing for me these days is to give thanks for each day. And I think what works for me is it helps me stay grounded, and I talk about this a lot, but it's really easy to focus on what you don't have because you already have all these things. What else do I want? What else am I not getting? But if you can stay focused on the things you do have and realize how good you do have it and give thanks for how good you have it, that turns your mood into a good, grateful, humble mood that can carry you through the days. So, those were some tips for early recovery or early recovery instructions. I hope that someone will get something out of this at some point. And I appreciate you guys coming on, Michelle and Stephanie. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.